That's good news for somebody this morning that says it looks like everybody around me is doing well. When is it going to be my season? When is it going to be my time? When is it going to be my moment? When is it going to be my time to have a breakthrough? And God wants you to know that if you can just be patient, if you can just tarry a little while longer, you will operate in overflow. You will operate in a life of prosperity because God says, I've come to bless you and I want to bless you abundantly. Look at somebody and say, God wants to bless you abundantly. But more than cars, more than a nice home, more than a nice wardrobe, God says, I'm going to bless you to the point that you operate in overflow, that you operate in prosperity, that things that used to worry you are not going to worry you anymore. I'm going to bless you to the point where you can operate in an overflow, that things that used to hinder you won't hinder you anymore. I'm going to bless you to the point where joy that had been snatched from you is going to come rushing back to you. I'm going to bless you to have a life of abundance where you used to walk around with a frown, you're going to be smiling again because I'm going to bless you that you will live an abundant life. Is there anybody here this morning that says, God, that's me. I am going to live an abundant life. I wish somebody here this morning would believe it and say, I am going to live an abundant life. But then there's a second vision, a vision of four horns that symbolize four nations that tortured and scattered Jerusalem. And that God tells them they will be brought in check by other nations, symbolized by four blacksmiths. You missed your shout again. There's four horns that were torturing and scattering God's people. But God ushers in four blacksmiths to put the four horns in check. I'm here to tell somebody this morning that some things that have been upsetting you, some things that have been torturing you, God is getting ready to put it in check. That thing that's been getting on your last nerve, God is getting ready to put it in check. The thing that was making you lose your mind up in here, God's getting ready to put it in check. The thing that made you toss and turn late at night, God's getting ready to put it in check. Everything that's been keeping you up, everything that's been worrying you, everything that's been pressing you, enemies coming against you, God says, just stay cool. I'm getting ready to put it all in check. Is there anybody here this morning that says, I have some things that I need God to put in check. I have some people that I need God to put in check. I need some structures that I need God to put in check. There's some organizations that I need God to put in check. There's some people, there's some places, there's some things. God says whatever's been coming against you and threatening to take you out of here, everything that's been trying to destroy your character, everything that's been trying to assassinate who you are, don't you worry, don't you fret. I'm getting ready to put it in check. Look at somebody and say, there's some things that God's getting ready to put in check. There's some people that God's getting ready to put in check. There's some places that God is getting ready to put in check so I can have an abundant life. But then there's a third vision. The third vision is a wall of fire symbolizing the surrounding presence of God and how he will cause his nation to grow and rebuild as a result of the glory within his city and people. In this vision, God lets us know that if you keep glory on the inside of you, I don't care what's going on the outside of you, everything will still be all right. And I think I have some witnesses in the house this morning. This is the only reason I haven't lost my mind yet is because I've got glory on the inside of me. The only reason I ain't snatching trying to take somebody else out of here is because I've got glory on the inside of me. The only reason I've been through all that I've been through, but I still got to praise. It's because I've got some glory on the inside of me. And you really don't know how much glory you have on the inside of you until you realize that had somebody else gone through only 10% of what you've gone through, they would have lost their mind a long time ago. But here you are, still clothed in your right mind. Here you are, broke but still got to praise. Here you are, don't know where your mortgage is going to come from, but still got to praise. Here you are saying, I just got enough to buy gas, not a full tank but a little bit of gas, but here you are still want to give God some praise because of the glory that's on the inside of you. Look at somebody and say, it's not because I haven't been through anything, it's not because I'm not going through anything, but the glory on the inside of me keeps letting me take a ticket and keep on coming back. Is there anybody here? You say it's the glory. Look at somebody and say it's the glory on the inside of me. It ain't my contacts because they left me a long time ago, but it's the glory on the inside of me. It ain't my money because I get funny sometimes, but it's the glory on the inside of me. I've got glory on the inside. But then the fifth vision, there's another vision. It's a vision of a lampstand with 7 lamps and olive trees, symbolizing the all-seeing eyes of the Lord and the anointed angels who stand by the Lord's side. Then there's another vision of a flying scroll that comes down from heaven, bearing a curse for all who steals and swears falsely. And then there's a vision, the 8th vision, of 4 chariots, symbolizing the 4 winds of heaven, who, like the horses in vision 1, patrol the earth and set God's spirit at rest. And then there's a vision, the 7th vision. It's an interesting vision. It's a vision of a basket that is coming down in the middle of the sky. And as the basket lands on earth, the lid pops open, and a woman symbolizing wickedness begins to rear herself up out of the basket. But as she's rearing herself up out of the basket, 2 angels come along and close the lid back down on the basket. You missed your shout cue because it's a reminder that I don't care how much wickedness is trying to raise its head up against you. God says, don't you fret. I still got it all under control. Somebody, you missed your shout cue because as bad as things have been, it didn't get worse because God still has it all under control. Whatever you lost, you didn't lose your mind because God has it all under control. Lost your job but didn't lose your joy because God had it all under control. Lost your home but never your hope because God had it all under control. Who I'm talking to this morning says, I've been going through, but in the midst of going through, God has still allowed me to keep my mind, to keep my joy, to keep my hope, to keep my smile, to keep my swagger, because God said I still got it all under control. It's not that weapons didn't come against you, it's just that they came against you, but they had to fall. It's not that people were lying, but when they came up against you, they just stumbled and failed. No wonder David said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I won't fear no evil because I've got somebody on my side. Is there anybody here this morning say, I've got somebody on my side? High five your neighbor. Say, neighbor, I've got somebody on my side. That's the wrong neighbor. Find somebody else and say, neighbor, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I look all cute. You think I'm dressed all fine. You think I'm smelling good. You think I don't have a care in the world. But lady, if you only knew half the story of what I'm dealing with, you would cry for me. But the only reason I done stopped crying is I got somebody that walks with me. I've got somebody that talks with me. I've got somebody that tells me it's gonna be all right. Is there anybody here this morning say, I've got somebody that tells me it's gonna be? Find 3 people and just high five them and say, neighbor, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Find 3 more people and say, neighbor, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Find 3 more people. Move out your seat and say, neighbor, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Let the weapons come against you. It's gonna be all right. Let them talk about you. It's gonna be all right. Let them roll their eyes at you. It's gonna be all right. Because God got it all